Well, I actually wanted to start off by talking a little bit about getting Boone back. Are you going to get Boone back? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay, you are going to get him back. It may be just coincidence a little bit, but since he's been out, the PK has struggled a little bit, and Corrali probably a little bit too, a couple weeks. How much can that help getting those two guys back on that particular?
Yeah, for sure. And would like to. In Boone's case, sometimes he's playing too much.
Okay.
So it affects either the power play or the PK or his 5-on-5 game. We know he's all out. He's going to give, if he's got 10% left of energy, he's going to give that. He's going to try to give 11%. But his ability to win faceoffs, same thing with Corrali, his understanding of the routes and the systems, we've missed that. But also, just the desperation he has on the PK, blocking shots and having a good stick and is changing on time. All of those details. Having said that, we've done a lot of good things on the PK. The numbers are trending a little bit down. But we've done a lot of good stuff. But having those two guys with more experience at doing that job is certainly going to give us two things. Either it's going to help us for sure, but it's certainly going to give me more options. And we talked the other day about the silver lining. It forced us to play other guys. So Cole Sillinger's become really good at it. Chinnikov has shown that he can play on the PK and be decent. We've also tried, because we had two different guys like Marchenko, and he had a good stick. So it forced us to try different guys and develop different options. But having those two guys will help for sure.
How about anticipation, play anticipation? Is that that helps penalty killers, right? And it seems like Boone's really good at that.
Yeah. So Boone pays a lot of spend a lot of time on preparing, and power plays are pretty much the same across the league.
Yeah.
Like teams are using different options, but the main component are pretty much the same. So Boone will spend an awful lot of time at studying what Mac is presenting and stuff. So knowing their tendencies, he can anticipate. So he's, I think part of that is also time he spends on preparing and understanding where the puck is supposed to go when you play against the power play.
Do you see that with Stillinger too a little bit?
Yes, he is. Yeah, absolutely.
Probably for the same reasons.
Absolutely.
Right.
He's prepared.
Do you know for him to come for Boone?
So,
Sorry.
grandmother on your mom's side, when was her birthday?
Grandmother on my mom's side.
Yeah.
April 16th.
So, right?
Yeah.
But if I would have told you that I'm going to ask you the question before, you would have been bang. I know it right away. You had to think. So that's preparation. That's what it does.
Yeah,
Those guys, they get ready, and once it happens on the ice, they can be fast.
They know it.
So you had to think for a second. Well, there's a goal. That's a goal against. You had to think for a second.
Okay.
You weren't ready.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, preparation is everything.
Yeah. I like that.
We talk about guys winning face-off and face-off percentage, but how much emphasis is on the other guys who are not in the dot and having to win?
Yeah. So face-offs, there's three things happening. You either win it clean, lose it clean, or it's a battle. It's one A, B, or C. A lot of times it's option C. It's a battle in the dot, and then it becomes a battle between 2, 3, 4, 5 players, and that's when we need help. So it's on the center, not to lose it clean. We want to win it clean, but any battles, it becomes a group thing, and we need help, absolutely, with the wingers or the defensemen in the D zone.
So they need to do better. You've been looking at that this year. And
Yeah, for sure.
I want to ask about Texier. I talked to him yesterday, and like any player admitted, he would be nice to score more, but at the same time, he seems like he's really proud of just his full game and a lot of the little things that he does on the ice. Have you seen that in him as he's come back this year? Yeah,
I've seen a guy that comes to the rink and he brings joy. And we don't talk about that very often, but coming to the rink and having fun, he's not he doesn't speak a whole lot. He's more of a quiet guy, but he's always consistent with his moods and what he brings to the game. And And I think part of it is because he's taking pride of what he does on the PK. And, I've used him in overtime, at times 4-on-4. He can create offense. He can play center, can play wing on both sides. So he's a guy that gives us quite a few options. And I think he knows that. He knows that we value what he does. He takes great pride in this job description. So I think it's a combination of a few things.
Yeah, you mentioned that Joy, but he's a guy, not having him the last couple of years had to be tough just because of, not just on the ice, but he brings so much to the room, and just it's got to be nice to have that back.
Yeah, he's so he mingles with everyone. Like, he's with the Russians, he's with, like, he's the young guys, the older guys. He's a guy that, has great social awareness and social intelligence. Even when you miss a guy like Boone or Zach Werenski, you're going to miss him. Same thing with Tex last year. You're going to miss him. You just don't know how much you're going to miss him. And last year, I think it made us realize we missed him quite a bit. And this year, to have him back, it gives us options. He's a good player. He cares about the Blue Jackets a whole lot. So it's good to have him back.
Is there more offensive upside there for him?
There is. But I'm thinking of Guy Carbonneau.
Okay.
Remember Guy Carbonneau?
I do, yeah.
Captain.
Yep.
He was a top scorer in the junior, over 150 points, I believe, in junior. Came to the NHL, had to adjust his game. Still an offensive guy, but he became a real good third-line center. And blocking shots, good on the PK, winning face-offs. Still have a lot of skills. I think, without comparing those two, but I have this image in my mind, like, guys are, every player in this room were the best of the best.
Yeah.
At the minor, the junior, college, Europe, they are the best. This is the best league in the world. A lot of them have to adjust their style of play. I think Tex is adjusting yes, he can bring offense, but now he's developing himself as a 200-foot PK guy that can contribute offensively as well, but that's not how he's going to get evaluated on how many goals he's going to score. But they all love scoring goals, right? And he can for sure. He can 6-on-5. One game here, he scored a nice goal, so he can certainly produce offense.
A lot of skill. With Boone coming back, do you have any idea yet how you're going to bring him back as far as roster stuff, or is it a decision for tomorrow? Or
no, he's going to play with Fantilli and Jack Roslovic.
no, I mean, like, someone's got to go, right, to be able to.
Yeah, so I got to speak to Yarmo about that.
Okay.
We're going to make a decision.
Okay.
Yeah.